Welcome to the Way Out Tarot. This will be your timeless general reading for wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart. As you watch this reading, I encourage you to use your intuition and your knowledge of your own experience to interpret the messages that come through. If you find that parts of it don't resonate, don't let that discourage you. Give the reading another watch in a few weeks. I promise it'll hit different. All right. That being said, let's see if we're gonna focus here. Someone won't leave you alone. Or is it that someone has left you alone? I think it's gonna be the former, because there is this kind of like annoyance. It's like they keep pressing you. And they think it's funny. Or they think that your reaction to them is funny. And if it's not that they think it's funny, it's that they aren't taking it seriously. Let's get a couple more and then we'll pause and talk about what's here. So someone's annoyed. That much is certain. It's like they want to be left alone. It's like, don't talk to me if you're not going to come correct. There's something here that has you pressed. Or someone. And I think that there is this sense of disbelief about the behavior in and of itself. There are so many thoughts about there's so many thoughts and so much frustration about why someone would behave a certain way. So you could be trying to rationalize and trying to figure out why they won't stop. Or this is how someone sees you. So that's one. That's one story that's here, and the other, I think, is it's one about you're very focused on something here, and you're putting a lot of work and effort behind it to see it thrive, to see it grow. And there is this unwillingness to let something like what I've been describing up until now ruin your work ethic or ruin the routine that you have when it comes to sustaining something, maintaining something, to building something. There's something that has finally stopped haunting you. And if it hasn't stopped right now, you know, as we said, rewatch in a couple weeks or so. But you do get through that. You do stop worrying about it. It's like it's being taken care of very quickly. You almost don't have to think about it, about the solution, that is, about the resolution. In life, we are oftentimes faced with choices that are deeper than we think they are. A lot of times we can think that we have all of the variables figured out, and we can think that we know what will come next after a decision that we make, or after a move we make. If we don't want to think about it like a decision, we can think about it like a shift in your path, or a perspective shift, even a change of course. We can think that we understand the repercussions, but then be completely caught off guard by something that we didn't consider. Most of us. You definitely have a gift of seeing things from different perspectives, and I would say that you have a good handle on what all those variables are that we were just speaking about. And I think that's how you avoid some pitfalls. Also in life, there are a lot of people that we have the potential to meet that have an opinion. They also have a vision. They're also trying to understand, and they're also considering variables. And if they are confident in the conclusions that they have come to, they may then seek to impose those ideas or opinions on you. Not everyone does this, of course. There are a lot of people, of course, that can have an opinion and then just talk about it openly and have a thought-provoking conversation, but there are those kinds who are going to influence your decision-making process, or have some kind of say in the path, in the way that your path shifts. So the cards want you to be cautious in a way. They want you to be very discerning about who you listen to, about who you allow to influence you. And I do think that there are some who are going to have a positive influence, for sure. They are the ones that know that there are some changes that are necessary, that need to be made, that are going to be to your benefit. And perhaps they are, they have a lot of experience in this particular concept. It's something that is or will be character building, or it's for the maintenance thereof. But can you keep your pride in check and agree when someone brings something to your attention that is going to, if you see it as an opportunity, if you are willing, it's going to add to your life in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to give you a kind of stability that I think you want. There's a kind of footing that you want. Also, what's coming through in this reading, I'm getting a lot of liberation with that birth card. A lot of freedom I think you are coming out of something that maybe you felt like you had to settle for. Or if it's not that you settled, and it's not that simple, it's that you know, what you had was what you wanted at the time, and you had a lot of high hopes for it. You always have a lot of high hopes for it. But maybe as time went by, I started to get old. Or the mask started to fall, and you started to see people for who they really are, and you started to see situations for what they really are, behaviors for what they really are. Let's get to clarifying. Okay, so we spoke about, so there were a couple things on these oracles I thought were interesting. I did want to point out to you, and then we'll move on. So in this influence card, we have this Adam and Eve figure, and the snake is here as well, and they're in the garden. You're familiar with the story, I trust. But what I noticed and what I thought was interesting about this picture is one of the most iconic parts of it is missing. There is no apple in this image, in this depiction. So I get the sense that, you know, there are some, yes, who have influenced you, and, you know, don't beat yourself up about this. You know, we're growing in awareness, and we talk about these things for a reason. So there could very well have been or be someone who is actively influencing you. So when we talk about caution in the read and really needing to be careful, this is what I mean. The next one coming out here is discrimination. And so I didn't look at the book for either of these. I'm just talking about these intuitively. But it kind of supports what we were just talking about discernment and choosing wisely, which is a definition of discrimination, right? To examine closely, to be able to tell or outline or highlight the differences between the two. So here we have something delicate and soft, and that you would want to come into contact with, such as butterflies. And there's also a fox in that field, so it's like there's two different, she's only reaching for one of them here. This is Mercury and Virgo. So in terms of the way that you are that's Venus in Virgo. Also this figure it looks like she's pregnant. So definitely some energy here of, there's some energy of fertility here. Venus tracks. So we got Venus in Virgo here. And what does this say? I do think that you are quite particular about who you allow close to you, about who you allow in. But I do think that your love is very, it's vigilant is the first word that came to mind. It is consistent, day in, day out. Actually, I want this is now what would be the extended. Starts now, and for the next video we'll put these on the website. Seven of Swords clarified by the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. So we were talking about something no longer haunting you, and I do think that you are definitely at peace here. The Tower, bottom of the deck we have the Devil and the Star. We'll take it. So there is something no longer haunting you. You are restored to your former glory. There have been some really toxic people in your life, or some people who just weren't around you for the right reasons, that you got them up out of your life. A whole new world. It's one where you're surrounded by your chosen family. It's one where it's a space that is emotionally intelligent. King of Swords, Nine of Cups. Speaking of emotional intelligence, that's exactly what that is. The Temperance card. Let's talk about it. Wow, okay. So, I dropped the deck when we're about to start talking about you. Temperance card clarified by the Eight of Swords. It could be that you want to talk about how much you've been doing. You want to talk about how things have been going. You want to catch up. You want to have a heart-to-heart, but maybe not allowing yourself to. Be that way, or it's that you are being that way, but someone is not. They're not reciprocating, or you think they don't care. You might think that they don't want to try. So there's this feeling of abandonment. There's this feeling of like they're being very cavalier with your feelings. Priestess and the Five of Pentacles. And it's like the more you don't talk about it, the more you don't get to talk about it, the more alone you feel. Strength. You'll be all right. Two of Cups. Clarifying the Strength card. Knight of Pentacles. Keep your feet firmly on the ground. You do so by not forgetting your value. The Empress, you do so by not forgetting your worth. You do so by not forgetting who you are. Do not allow that disappointment to discourage you. Keep working, keep going. The Sun, Two of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Keep working, keep going. You have to stay positive. You can't allow, the upset. You can't allow the setback to make you, to make you forget about evolution. You don't have to argue about what's true. You don't have to argue about what's right. Let it go. Let yourself be free of it. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to muzzle you. I want to talk about these two that came out over here. First one we got is someone borrows something of yours and returns it messed up. What would you do? You revoke consent for making out with someone after agreeing to making out with them earlier. They become upset with you. What would you do? I keep shaking the camera, sorry. Would you enforce those boundaries? I leave those two questions to you. Admiration, infatuation. Text me the number 2, the letters Y and Z, North, blue eyes. This was your read. If you'd like to support this channel, please watch the ad at the end of this video to completion. If you're looking for more content, The Way Out Pod is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, and I think it's also on Podvine. So check us out over there. I'll see you in the next one.